On sexual fantasy and the science of desire. Sex therapist Shelley Barode here with more on what people fantasize about. Hello, finally a book about this, like a really in-depth, fully researched book, more than just a study.
I think at this point you know that one of the people I always follow his research because he's coming from a lot of research and he writes a lot of blogs about it. It's Dr. Justin Miller. I hope I pronounced his name right. So one of his newest books is Tell Me What You Want. He actually asked for more than 4,000 people about their sexual fantasies. And then later I realized it was first a research he was doing to study about fantasies and about desire, and then he decided to write a book about it.
I'm sure like he was even surprised by his own results, right?
And it's the biggest survey I think was ever done in regard to, yes, 4,000. This is a lot. This is a great sample. And he comes from, of course, a lot of background in psychology behind sexuality. So he did something really fascinating here. And the first thing he asked, he wanted to explore was the source of people's favorite fantasies. I will keep the fantasies to the end, the most common one. I'll let you think about it. But in the meantime,
did he find that everybody does fantasize?
He find out that, yeah, most people reported that they do fantasize. That's A. We will talk about whether fantasy needs to stay a fantasy or come true. I don't know. I think it's debatable. Some people.
So, in your experience, does the fantasy
as an expert
like
in this
overshadow
field,
the reality? Like, more often do people have fantasies and then something happens and it's not doesn't live up to the fantasy?
Because I always say our fantasy, take it to the most beautiful, perfect place. That's why it's called fantasy. And when it comes to sexuality, it's also, although if we look at the reason how fantasies are created or born, then a lot of people say the number one, and this is where you are very accurate, my own imagination. I create it. So yes, of course, we have the pornography and erotica that affect us, and there is also books. The first thing I was checking it, because books help us create, and of course there is also movies, but some people say, I don't know where they come from, because it means somewhere, or we picked up something that seems sexual to us, and we created even a more beautiful place. Some say movies. 50 Shades of Grey is a great example.
The Notebook, these types of movies.
And there's a lot of others. There's The Secretary, and so many movies were created actually in the 80s.
9.5 weeks. Way back what? 9.5 weeks.
9.5 weeks is amazing. I always recommend it. It's great. Even Adore. It's not about sexual fantasies, but it's about beautiful love story between a little bit older women and a younger guys. And then there is sexual opportunity that I passed up, and then it becomes a fantasy because it's like, oh, why did I do that? And
so what did they find in the book as to what the most common fantasies are?
So this is where it's interesting. The number one was multi-partner, like more than one partner.
At the same time? Or, okay.
Yes. They're not, here we're talking about, it could be a 2, a 3, and a bigger party, as we can say, on TV.
Eyes wide shut.
She's going for it. A power control, I'm not surprised, after 50 Shades of Grey. They are referring to bondage and discipline in the BDSM world, which, what I mentioned, novelty is part of it. Taboo and forbidden, such as voyeurism, or exhibitionism, meaning showing herself a little bit next to the window.
I was reading even the intro of the book, like people that are like turned on by like vomit and like these.
So you're taking one step ahead. Yeah, one step that I'm actually usually avoiding talking about it here, but I do talk about it. I must say I don't judge any sexual behavior, fantasies, or thoughts. In my opinion, sexuality is very colorful, and we can have and fantasize and think about anything that will do it to us and turn us on. And in my opinion, it's blessed and it's beautiful. And I hope people will understand that also. As long as we keep, everything according to the law and respect other people, then I think everything is beautiful. Let's go to the last two, the non-monogamous relationship, meaning partner sharing.
So like swinging.
And sometimes it can be allowing and even observing at my partner doing something sexual with another partner, and I'm not even participating. I hear that from a lot of men, and I know it's very, very high.
Lastly, we're out of time.
Last one is gender bending, meaning experimenting with the same gender.
So having fantasies about people of the same gender. Okay.
So
the fantasies are long and wide. All right. Thank you.